Hey, good evening. It's 9:17 p.m. It is still May 25th. This is my second video. It's 9. Let me see. It is 9. I already said 9:17 p.m., but it's just hard to believe that it's already nighttime. Mind you, I have experienced the day just going by really fast. It just seems like earlier this afternoon I was sitting in my room and thumbing through a book, and then I took a small nap. I woke up and it's like, oh my goodness, half the day is gone. It just goes by too fast. I will say that I've been like really drained, burned out on the same thought process. I don't have any new energy coming into my life. What I mean by that is like, I need new experiences. And I'm the kind of person, I know people like, oh, she's 53, she needs to do this. That's one of the reasons why I'm a lot like my dad when it comes to, and I'm talking about my adoptive father, James Gordon, my soulmate, whatever you want to call it, right? I'm a lot like him in a sense of I don't really get a lot of energy, fuel, and motivation with other people. My father felt as though people were nothing more to him than a nuisance, and I see what he's saying. Okay, now I'm not trying to offend anybody, and I certainly do appreciate the people who support me. But, throughout my life, I've dealt with a lot of people who always want to throw their 2 cents in and undermine me. And I get the feeling that my father dealt with a lot of that himself. You know what I mean? And it's unnecessary, but a lot of people do that, especially when they're insecure about something or they feel as though they have some sort of sense of entitlement to do something to you or be a part of you or associate with you, attach themselves to you, much like the situation of Libra 14, which I would put him in the same category as like a cockroach. Something's just like hard to battle, fucking unreasonably ridiculous, annoying, whatever, disgusting too. But anyway, I'm angry about that, and I obviously, it's something I'm having a really hard time dealing with, mainly because I don't like any stagnation in my life. I don't like it. I don't like losing enthusiasm for things, and I have felt, the more I think about my father, the more I see so many things that what he was talking about because people have their place. Okay, mind you, my experiences with people have been pretty negative. Growing up as a person who was born in an experiment, which I've said this before. I hate talking about it, but it is what it is. Okay, I was, when I was raised, I was a part of a experiment that was created by Joseph Mengele. So you can imagine the people that were always in my vicinity, the people that I ended up working with, were Nazis or Nazi sympathizers, whether that be directly or indirectly, or they were either black, what do you call it? I don't use the word blackwash. I'm using the word blacklisted, blackwash. This word blackballed or convinced or brainwashed. That's the word I'm looking for. I am so tired. Brainwashed to participate in a program for people who are other races who are dumb enough to get involved with. Anyway, but the point I'm trying to make in my slurred speech because I am very very tired is that I've dealt with people who've been negative all my life, and I recognize that. And there's some people who would internalize it, and I think this is their point. What they don't like is they don't like to see you be the person that you are, and they feel threatened by it, especially since this was a racist issue, and so this is one of the reasons why they were like, well, they want to play the I'm better than you game. And you have no interest. I had no interest in playing the I'm better than you game. But I will tell you, their stupid game caused me a lot of psychological problems. Okay, because the whole thing about the competition, the experiment, the dehumanization, it was absolutely it's Nazi it has Nazi all over it. Okay, so my memories of the people that I recall seeing throughout my life I can honestly say that it's time to move on. You know what I mean? I understand there's a lot of people who support me, and I think I've said something else similar along these lines. Just that, you know what? There are some things that are so disturbing to you that you don't want to ever look back. And I don't ever want to look back at this. I don't want to look back on it. I'm not comfortable with it. And and it's something I need to say and make sure that people understand it. Because the more I think about the time that I spent making these videos, like since 2015, and the fact that it should have stopped right when I started bringing up all this stuff, because I was dealing with people that I suspect are not able to feel empathy, and that makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable with people who don't feel empathy, okay? Because this is where we're dealing with borderline evil, and the very fact that I'm sitting here making these videos talking about the issue and all this other stuff, I'm not comfortable in the situation. Okay. And of course I do go through like a lot of thoughts about, my anger, resentment, bitterness of having to encounter these people that I had to work with, and then the purpose of the experiment. And I don't ever want to live my life feeling as though I am having something to prove to anybody. I don't want to prove anything to anyone. You know what I mean? And I understand that these people were trying to bully me to the point of where I no longer had any reason to fucking live. And I honestly, when I think about the people who were willing to do that to another person or suggest that, support that, or anything, all I can do is think of these people as evil. There's no way in the world I can think of them as anything other than that. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, whether they did it because they were racial, it was racial motivation, or they did it because they were just jealous because, and I'm doing a video about transformation and people who bully other people. I'm mentioning it. It's not like it's based on the entire thing, but it has something. I'm touching on this subject. And that's a personality trait that in this part of my life, I really don't want friends that have that. I want to be selective about the kind of people that I choose to have in my life. You know what I mean? And I understand there's people who are involved and, people who have, I addressed these three individuals before. And in my celebrity reading, one of these people from the same reading from a few nights ago popped up again. So I'll be doing a reading for you in a minute. Okay. But I don't know. I don't have the same views and the same goals as this group of people that were targeting me. Okay, they're very political. They're very, they're obviously come from a white racist viewpoint. That the very fact that they know who I am is because of the experiment. So they see me through the experiment eyes, as well as their affiliation to like white ideology type groups. Okay, and I have always I've done my best to like stay out of anything that relates to politics. I literally just wanted to exist in a spiritual world. This is all I fucking ever care about. And whether people understand my view of spirituality, it doesn't fucking really matter to me. I only want to connect with people who are interested in spirituality. If you like my videos, then hang with my videos. But the very fact that someone would come into my life and try to make me, bend me, shape me, mold me into something and be so adamant about it, I could never trust another person or that person who did something like that to me ever again. I could never. You know what I mean? But anyway, that kind of abuse, it's so pathological and it's so twisted because what they want, it's just sick. Anyway, so I have a few things that are kind of like floating through my mind before I go into my celebrity readings. I was thinking about the this whole group of the interaction that goes on social media that involves what some people will call like the powerful people and like employers and all this other stuff. I do understand and that you finally get what I'm telling you. And I don't want to sit here and like have to wonder why it is that you get it or why you agree to being peaceful, because I don't want to ever question someone's motive. I'm just basically telling you, because I personally feel as though what your motive was in no way friendly towards me, nor was it appropriate towards me. I take offense, extreme offense, to what you acted out. Okay, and I understand who I'm talking to. I'm very much aware of your title, but I also think you should know that what you did affected me. And by you thinking that what you did was okay, proves a lot of my points. But you caused a person to have severe trauma. You did this. You did this to another human being. And so many people look up to you and think that, you would not be capable of doing something like this. It's shocking to me. You know what I mean? And disturbing. You know what I mean? I'm just like not comfortable with it. But I'm glad that you do at least agree to having a peaceful this I want this like I want it done and over with. And I don't want to be triggered anymore. I don't want to have to I will not I don't want to encounter one of your agents while I'm at the store. And I'm not talking about agents, I'm talking about maybe like an ex coworker or somebody who was like an ex neighbor that I used to talk to. Because if I see them at the store, I'm going the other direction. Okay, I'm not comfortable with what you did. I will never be comfortable with what you did. I don't appreciate that kind of exploitation, and I don't. I forgive it to a certain extent, and on some level, it's never going to be forgiven. Meaning, like, I'm adamant about people who step the line and try to put me into states of submission based on my race. Okay, because to me, once you cross that line, you will never be able to be forgiven by me. That is like I fucking draw the line there. Okay, somebody who's going to sit here and try to exert their power and try to act like and be in a competition with me to try to make me feel like I'm a substandard person, I should think not. Okay, I'm the one who understands you know how a leader should be. Now, mind you, I have no interest in leadership, okay, but it does bother me. And so sometimes I sound like a broken record making these videos talking about the same anger that I'm dealing with, because I'm dealing with your um, your stagnicity and your what do you call it? Your obstacles and your timetable that I hate being on. Okay, because like I said, I have bills to pay, I have things to do. You know, um, and like I said, I'm putting it very frankly. Also, I do know that I speak in a way to where people start looking at themselves. Okay, and I don't know, because here's the thing. Okay, when it comes to this group of people, and I'm referring to you guys, these important, powerful people. Okay, from you doing what you did for the long period of time that you did, it has convinced me that you guys are like severely narcissistic, to the where I don't really think that you have any, like, you're just like, okay, you know what, how I feel about you guys, that you guys are just full on evil. That's how I feel. Okay, so by me being even polite, I feel like it's kind of like this is how I feel. How am I supposed to feel after you doing this over and over and over again, year after year after year? It's been over a decade since I left the farmer's place. So how in the world do you honestly expect me to and I'm still facing it, dealing with it? You know what I mean? You're just now clearing up some fucking restriction that should have never been placed on me in the fucking first place, based off some sort of experiment that was what? Created by Nazis. So you have to understand, from my point of view, I can't feel anything other than how I feel. It is completely normal for me to feel the way that I feel. You know what I mean? And my biggest issue with you guys is that I feel like the sickness is just it's a cycle. You know what I mean? Because there's been times in the past, I remember, like, the whole issue at my last job, okay, where I was told by one of the owners, oh, you're okay with wearing that, blah, 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 blah. And then you guys do something that you shouldn't have done in the first place. And so the normal thing to do is to express that. I express that, which is the normal thing to do, since I'm dealing with your injustice already. So then what do you want to do? You want to enforce another bullshit thing by trying to make me wear a uniform try to put me in submission because you think of me as someone who's so standard and lower than you are. I will never respect that. Ever. And I do understand that Libra 14 had a lot to do with this, but the very fact that somebody would think that I'd want him in the fucking first place is just absolutely absurd. Sure, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not starstruck. Okay? I'm not starstruck. There are some people that would be, they're fully aware of the fact that they had, what do you call it, blood relations that had them and want nothing to do with them, but some people are so desperate and so blind that they would be on their knees begging for some sort of recognition to a parent that obviously doesn't want them. You know what I mean? And believe me, I don't want anything to do with that person. Okay? But it just angers me that this person should have had anything to do with my life in the fucking first place. You know what I mean? She had her choice, and she made this choice, okay? And I don't really care. To me, I'm just so... I can't tell you how hellish this whole fucking experience is for me. It's hellish, it's ghoulish, it's everything. I'm not happy with it. At all. You know? So anyway, I'm glad that when I talk about, some of the people who have offended me, I'm glad I'm making them look at themselves. You know what I mean? I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you're able to have emotions, okay? Because I've read things about you guys in the past that make me think that you guys are just fucking full-on monsters, okay? But, at least you could at least try to be a decent person while you're doing this in public view, okay? Or at least bury the hatchet and have peace, just because it's the decent thing to do, and at least say, what, I'm walking away from this, because after all, I was the one who was dealt with the injustice. You make things fair. You know what I mean? Anyway, the next thing I wanted to say was that, I know I mentioned in a video, my last video, I was talking about, I'm trying to get down to the very bottom of this sort of fucking goddamn, it's fucking goddamn evil, okay, to deny someone a life where I was struggling my entire life, coming here to this community, trying to get a basic job just so I can live and raise my son. And then here you guys roll up with this bullshit and then put me in some sort of program, sucked up my goddamn life, and then basically wanted me to change my life, send me some sort of ass clown, Libra 14, and then want me to change my life for something that I fucking don't want. I don't fucking want it. I don't want anything to do with Libra 14 or live my life in a hoity-toity way. What you see is who I am. You know what I mean? And I'm not ashamed of that. You know what I mean? Um, what I am is I feel like I've been on the run from dealing with people and their evil my entire life. But I did make a video earlier, and I was talking about me trying to figure out, because it does cross my mind, okay? Because, I remember hearing about evil, white people being evil. I've certainly seen reasons why I should believe that. I've seen shit demonstrated throughout the course of this whole program, throughout the course of my life. I'm sitting here thinking about a lot of the white people that I knew my entire life, that I grew up with, who were a part of this targeting program, who probably benefited by being on the puppet strings of these fucking puppet masters. Okay? And they were informants, meant to be fucking two-faced people. You know what I mean? And no, I'm just saying it how it is, but the reason why I was trying to get down to the bottom of it when it comes to white people is because I'm not somebody, I could never be the way that the white people were towards me. I could never enact that sort of shit to anybody. It's not in me to be that way. You know what I mean? To me, that's like evil on a whole completely different level. And when I think about this particular person, C.B. Berganza, who literally, is just trying to survive after being kidnapped and dealing with what he had to deal with in England, then coming over here, having to basically deal with so many irrational disappointments He was just making a living, and he must have made a really good living. And in the same situation where he was making a living, people were getting in his business. You know what I mean? I take offense to it that some of my old coworkers, I got this message earlier, that some of my old coworkers were watching my videos on Patreon. You had no fucking goddamn right to do that, and you better be fucking paying for that. You know what I mean? And of course, the main orchestrator who's sitting there at the top of the pyramid, thinks it's okay to let them do that. No, it's not okay. Okay? I have been a victim of your fucked up program for God knows how long. Okay? And I have lived in this country for as long as I can remember. And the very fact that you would use religion as an excuse, I'm just basically telling you how it is. Okay? I take offense to it. Okay, these people that were watching my videos, and I hope, like I said, I hope they're paying for it. Okay, but because I get this feeling that you guys were watching them and you're very much aware of things like food magic and all this other stuff. I'm tired of being exploited, and because that's basically what it is. I'm not getting paid for it. I'm getting exploited. It's that simple, and I don't appreciate it. And I don't care what kind of title that you have. Truth is truth. It is what it is. Okay, so basically, the lineage that kidnapped me thinks it's okay to come back and try to fuck me over one more time. I'm not happy with that. The next message I got is that there was some talk about me working with paint and expressing myself. And yeah, I work with paints. I work with the needle and thread. I like old fashioned things. I understand this is I'm being badgered about I think my ex-boss wanted me to be like her, somebody who wanted, I guess, a lot of fucking attention and to mingle with and be big-headed about being able to mingle with certain people and all this other stuff. And he's like, you know what? I'm old school and I believe in the old ways. And I understand we live in the modern age, but this is the way that I choose to live. I have no interest in being a part of mainstream society, which I've said this before. Okay. So yes, when it comes to painting, working with clay, uh, drawing. I mean, I'm not a great artist, okay, but all of these things are incorporated into my spirituality. And no, I do not believe that an analytical person cannot make a drawing, especially if it has something to do with magic. I don't think so. It has nothing to do with that. Okay, so I'm tired of people analyzing me and then coming up with stupid, what do you call it? Stupid reasons or assumptions or this somehow relates to anything. No, I am a full person. I'm a full, well-rounded person. I could tell a joke. I can be serious. Okay, I can, play with a stuffed animal and completely fully understand the legal ramifications of something that doing something wrong. You know what I mean? I'm an adult. I understand that, and there's a time and place for everything. And me having an interest in something does not mean that it makes me lesser in another area. Okay, maybe that might apply to you, but I don't have the same things or issues with you as you do. Okay, so stop making assumptions. Also, my soul tribe believes that I have. Okay, here's the thing. I was getting challenged in the workplace and through in the community at one time, apparently through this soul tribe. I'm not necessarily referring to celebrities. I'm talking about other people who were associated with this group. Okay, so everything that I did was challenged, mainly because it was influenced. I understand now by the experiment. Okay, but um, the experiment, I think, was meant to have me implode in on myself, to be able to have so much mistreatment that I would basically just commit suicide. I honestly did not see that this particular um, uh, experiment that was endorsed by the people in our country. I find it shocking. And the person at the pyramid in England, I find it absolutely disgusting. Okay, how you could think that treating somebody in this manner is normal is shocking to me. Is absolutely shocking to me. And so when it comes to me, the things that I used to read about, people being kind of a little weird and stuff like that, how else am I supposed to see you? You know what I mean? Because I personally think it's abnormal to do this kind of shit. I really do. But anyway, the first message that I got for the celebrities is I got Gemini 18. And yes, I definitely do want to talk to you again. It's been a long time since I actually been on social media. Okay. I think the last time I wrote a text message or email might have been a month ago, and I can't tell you how weird it is for time to be flying by. You know what I mean? And I have been, I don't know why, but I keep thinking, I try to remember to turn off the notification bell on my tablet, and I know that people have been contacting me on social media because I hear that notification bell going off, okay? And then I keep thinking, okay, did I turn it off? And then for some few days later, I'll hear it or whatever. I really have not been responding to my emails or anything. I will tell you that all of this has had a huge effect on me. I am literally disturbed about interacting with people. That's how it is. That's how it's become because of all the shit that's happened that should not have happened in the way that it did. Okay? So it's affected me. And even communicating via text because I understand the manipulation that some of these people, the lengths that people go through, I'm really uncomfortable with. Okay. Now, I want you to know that I've been wanting to get back and talk to you too because, I've always had a lot of respect for you. You do, you're constantly thinking about me and this whole issue with my feelings towards the resentment that I have towards the network. It's very deep. I can't tell you how deep it is because my life is, um, my time is so precious right now. Like when I left the barber's place, I was still in my 40s, and I kept thinking the thing that was in my mind at that time, um, Gemini 18, was I still have time to get on with my life because I've been counting down and really understanding. Like I didn't understand that I was a targeted individual, like within this program and who was behind it, but I do know that I felt as though a lot of my life has been wasted. Like I've had to deal with things that I should not have dealt with. I didn't realize this how deep this was, but I kept thinking, okay, I kept thinking I'm going to move to Los Angeles or do something and get on with my life. And I was just, completely plagued with the entire time. Okay, and I do understand Labor 14, his involvement in it, which makes me even more angry because I already made it very clear about the kind of person I wanted or didn't want in my life. Okay, and so we have this fucktard that wants to come and be a part of my life, mainly for his own selfish motive, which I do believe that he had something to do with this experiment. And whatever. Okay, um, it's very strange to me, and I'm disturbed by it on so many levels. Mainly because, I had mentioned in my video before about everybody needs a form of sanctuary. Like there were times where I would get like really irritated at home. And there were times, believe it or not, that I found peace at work, especially like when I worked at a place called the Penny Saver. Okay, there were days where like the salespeople were out and I would have the office pretty much to myself. Okay, so I knew that when I would go to work that Monday, all I had to do was talk to people that I could deal with, and I could sit at my desk and I would have a decent day, sipping on my coffee. It would be great. Okay, and meanwhile, I wasn't really happy at being at home. So then work became my sanctuary, right? These people invade your work life, they invade your home life, okay? And then when I realized that celebrities could be possibly involved in the bullying campaign, then this is when I crossed the line. Why? Because your love of celebrities, those times when you put your headphones on, this is a form of escape from the real world. Okay, it's a part of your precious memories, your cherished thoughts, your all this other shit, and then somebody's gonna shit on that too. It was like I honestly felt like this you went fucking goddamn too fucking far. You know what I mean? And it pissed me off. Okay, and maybe if you don't, I understand a lot of people don't understand the way that I think and how deep and how, like, things affect me. But I try to keep things in my life to where I feel as though, um, I guess it's sacred to me. Those little thoughts and memories are sacred. Why? Because they were mine. They were there. It was what how things were related to me. Why? Maybe like people's music was special to me, or maybe I found some form of escapism in whatever, whether that be watching a TV show or listening to music or whatever. You know what I mean? I felt as though this program was entirely too invasive. Okay, now I understand that I'm associated indirectly, directly with celebrities, and I also got the message and this sort of buzz in my ear or feeling that people recognize me as a celebrity. Boy, I'll tell you, things are different, because I always thought like when you're a celebrity, you were like, living on Hollywood Hills or something cool like that. I'm living in a shitty fucking apartment. Okay, so whatever. Okay, I'm so out of it. I don't know what was considered celebrity or not. Okay, I just know that most people find entertainment on things like the internet. I'm used to the old days of being, watching old school stuff. Like, to me, you were a celebrity if you were being talked about in the Star of the Enquirer. Okay, so it's been a long time. I'm kind of out of touch with all that because I don't know. Okay, but I do get that feeling that people know who I am because of my videos, but mainly because of the Prince Alame who cloning whatever thing. And I do understand that my association with the celebrities is because of me being, well, I think it's a little bit, it's two things. Me, my biological mother is in the industry, and then also my father wanted me to be, or thought that I would be interested in being a celebrity, a singer specifically. Okay. Um, anyway, I got off the subject, which I'm known to do. Um, I get the message that you listen to things that I say, and I do. That's so cool because I've always had like a lot of admiration for you, which I think I've expressed that before. I've always respected you, and I've always liked you, and it's really cool that you have a lot of respect for me. You know what I mean? I never thought in the million years that I would ever be having a conversation, even though it's indirect. Okay, like addressing you through one of my videos, or even addressing you at all personally, because I never thought that I would ever cross that realm. And I know some people think, well, then what are you talking about? What I'm saying is, like, I never thought that I'd have anything to do with celebrities. You know what I mean? I had no idea all this stuff was going on in my, but it's cool though. You know what I mean? And I certainly think very highly of you, and I always have. Okay, so the next thing is that you feel, okay, based on some of the things that I've been thinking about, and this is like really trippy to me because I know you're white, okay, but I never thought of you as white. I never just, to me, you were always Gemini 18. Okay, I never thought of you as like a possible cluster, never thought of you as somebody who had issues. I never thought of you. I loved your music. Always, like, my face would light up every time I saw you. I used to dream of baking you a cake with an easy bake oven. It was deep, okay? I never thought of you as I never thought of you as the us versus them type thing, and I understand. Maybe it's because I'm a spiritual person, and I think a lot of it has to do with that because a lot of people think in terms of race, okay? But I don't want to get into that too deeply. But I did pose the question about, are white people able to, the number one, are white people um, inherently evil? Are they evil? Are they a genetic defect within the human species, and they are just not capable of being peaceful? Or have they been influenced negatively, and have they allowed greed because they do have a certain amount of privilege? Um, Anyway, the feeling that I'm getting from you, and I don't know why, because I wasn't asking that question to you specifically, and God knows I would never, and growing up watching you, thinking about you, respecting you, even at times I would go so far to say, Okay, idolizing you. Okay, and you must have meant a lot to me if I dreamt of making you a easy bake oven cake. Um, I never thought of you that way, you know. But anyway, the whole thing is like I get the feeling that you feel as though white people can live peacefully. You believe that they can. Okay, so you probably do not think that white people are to have a genetic defect. Okay, I personally think I think everybody has like allowed greed and the need for them to survive be this way. And I do understand some people are like they do experience some forms of xenophobia. You know what I mean? They do, especially if they don't really know a person or whatever. But I think that that so-called dream, that ideal lifestyle, that I want people to like me so much, and they go out of their way to one up other people. I think that whole I need to be the it person can literally create demons in people. Anyway, that's what I got from your mind. Anyway, the next thing I got from you is that people like my celebrity coded readings, and you think that I should stick with Maria Gordon YouTube channel. Then I get from other people, start your own swan. I'm not starting shit right now. I'm basically staying on the Maria Gordon channel. Okay, so I'm not moving over to starting another YouTube for Swan Song Manifesto. I'm not doing that. I am right here. I'm tired of moving. I'm tired of playing around. Okay, so also I get the message from you that that these people, and you understand, you're aware that people were jealous of me. Excuse me if my speech is slurred. I am starting to slow down and dealing with a little bit of tiredness, but I've dealt with the jealousy, and I hate dealing with jealousy. I think when people become jealous of you, it is a terrifying thing. And I'm sure you of all people throughout your life, you must have dealt with some fucking goddamn green-eyed monsters. I'm pretty goddamn sure of it, okay? It's terrifying because they make it your life a living hell. You know what I mean? And some people, they cannot relax. They feel agitated and they gotta pick at you and pick at you and pick at you constantly. You know what I mean? And you're just trying to live. You know what I mean? You're not, I'm not a competitive person. You know what I mean? And so it just kind of bothers me when people bring their insecurities and then they put that shit on me. Like, I'm supposed to make them feel better and reduce the quality of my life so that they can, like, look in the mirror at themselves. I don't know. It's not my fucking problem. What do you do? Anyway, yeah. So also, I get the message that the matchmaking will take place again. And I got to tell you, Gemini 18, I'm very glad about that. You know, I think what scares me so much is I made my point very clear. And there were a lot of people within this group that felt as though because I didn't have a bachelor's degree and because of my race, that these people felt as though they needed to teach me a lesson. Like somehow I was, naive about life, and they felt like they needed to show me and lead the way and all this other putrid shit. But the fact is that I know myself quite well, okay? And by them taking that action, it made me feel very scared because it feels like, especially when we're talking about people like Libra 14, like, I understand, okay, and I really feel, I'm actually kind of feeling kind of like embarrassed as I'm saying this because this conversation is weird to me, Gemini 18, because I used to visualize me being your friend when I was on the playground, when I was lonely and didn't have any friends, because I always felt like, would you do that in front of, like, Gemini 18? Because, I thought you were so cool, I would never do something embarrassing, okay? So, but, when it comes to Libra 14, and I'm going to talk about something that's kind of like, ew, and like I said, bringing this up in front of people like you, of all people, is making me a little uncomfortable, but I'm going to say it anyway, okay? Now, I have mentioned throughout all of my 1400 videos how I felt about certain sexual activities, okay? So, and you're probably wondering, how the hell do you know that Libra 14 was like that? I mind tap, okay? And I realized he was into that. And mind you, I am not telling people what is supposed to turn them on and what's not supposed to turn them on. Hey, that's your thing, okay? But I have made it very clear that I didn't feel comfortable with this sort of activity with something from my past, okay? So the very fact that he heard this, I know he heard this because this dude was all of my business. He couldn't get out of my business. He's a stalker, right? So he sits there and like gets involved in my stuff. And he knows that he lives a sort of lifestyle. I don't want him. Okay. So maybe he was lying. He was just pretending that he was interested in having a relationship with me. Either way, he shouldn't have touched and gotten involved in my shit. So I'm very glad that matchmaking will not happen again, because I feel as though these people violated me when I said it the first time. Okay. When I say something, I mean it. And yes, I am old enough to make good decisions. Okay. Not decisions willy-nilly, not decisions that are based on emotion, but I make well thought out decisions, okay? And I don't feel as though I'm missing out being married, not being married. And a lot of people, they feel like, I don't understand, but it seems like people, maybe because people always look at me as strong, okay? People always refer to me as strong. I don't even think twice about it. Now, a lot of people, like in this case where everybody was all in my business, including Libra 14, I believe he was like the ringleader of people being in my business. Specifically, the business that I'm trying to get my money from. I find it offensive, and I feel violated by him taking that action. I feel like, I'm always talking about me needing to feel safe, me being a woman all by herself. I just recently found out that, I was a part of this experiment. I don't have family to fall back on. And to find out that this monster was doing what he was doing, and then he would not even be able to be a good partner for me. If I ended up being stuck married to this man, I would have to hear him and his daughter fucking each other down the hall, and that's going to make me cringe. I'm going to fucking hate that. Ooh, I just felt a very cold wind. I think it might be a spirit, whatever. But anyway, that's what's going on in my life. And I'm glad that people aren't going to be matchmaking me anymore, because I'm not comfortable with this group, like the group, because they think in terms, they don't have like the concept, or they have no concept of what it's like to be a sincere friend. Okay, I don't need spies. I don't need handlers. Like, this dude was like trying to act like he had some sort of right, or that I was his partner. People always think about partnerships. Okay, that doesn't come into my mind. Okay, I have always thought on Maria needs to do this. Maria needs to do. It's not about me trying to make a point or try to prove that I'm strong or anything like that. It was just a natural progression of things, and based on the experiences that I've had. Okay, I have never been able to count on anybody. Most people I've known in my life, Gemini 18, were flakes. So it was just no question about it. Maria needs to pick up her stuff and do things on her own, okay? And I prefer not working with people a lot of times, because I feel as though they slow me down, such as, like, this is a great example. Libra 14 and his retarded ass, right? Yeah, thank you. I'm glad there's not going to be any matchmaking anymore. Also, people were talking about my philosophy and how I live my life. Now, I think I might have like just blurred and started like talking about shit that really didn't make any sense earlier. Please forgive me. I'm tired. But I know when you're getting targeted, all they want to do is test you. They want to question you. They want to taunt you. They want to sit here and like question things that I find shocking. Seeing as how I'm a United States citizen, okay? I live here in this country, and you don't expect for anybody to challenge you on your religious beliefs or how you live your life, okay? Now, I know that people were talking about me because I'm a girly girl. I like my clothes. And by the way, I'm going to be doing a video about, clothes and stuff. My clothes are not expensive, okay? I buy, I bought clothes from like department stores. I bought them at garage sales. I've gone to thrift stores to buy my clothes, okay? And I know that everything that you do, like, you know, if you buy your clothes at thrift stores, they want to show off and tell you, and somebody bright in your face. They literally think up these ridiculous skits, okay? They will come up to you and like show you and prance around in an outfit that they got that's more expensive. If you say that you like vanilla ice cream, they're going to sit here and challenge you and talk about how fucking awesome strawberry ice cream is. This is the kind of childish shit that they do, okay? And so they were talking about me and how I have my own certain views and how I choose to live my life. And they spent a very long time trying to prove that they were right. And all they did was delay me and piss me off. Okay? Now, I don't go into politics, but I do believe that, you know, I do have very strong ethics, and I try to live a good moral life, and I try to live a life where I have a clean conscience. And I do believe that the only way that you're going to enjoy life is to seek your heart's desire, whatever that might be. And I don't believe that other people should have play a role in that, unless, of course, you want to bring them in that. Which brings me back to the subject of partnerships, okay? I hate what Legal 14 did, okay? And I feel totally violated. I just had to tell you that. And I am kind of a loner, and I do want to work with people, and I certainly do want to work with you in the future, and I hope that you will. You know, I mean, I feel, you know, kind of insecure about saying something like that because, you know, I've respected you and like adored you for such a long time. But anyway, I'm glad that you respect the way that I live, and I hope that I get a chance to meet you in person. The next person that I have to read for is Capricorn 9. Well, surprise, surprise, looks like you came up again. So, the message I got today about from you is the whole issue about the reincarnation, about the male and the female, and I get it, okay? I understand that I was persecuted for many years, and people were, I was being bullied, and then people were basically trying to force me into, like, for example, I know Libra 14 was trying to make me wear a uniform. Maybe, I don't know if there's a connection. I haven't meditated on this issue, but I do know that people didn't like me wearing makeup. They didn't like me, and I'm talking about this group that you're associated with, and possibly this may have come from you. Didn't like me wearing makeup, and didn't like me wearing clothes, and possibly issues with my hair as well. The thing is that I see no reason why I should cater to anybody. And this is not me being disrespectful. It's just I personally suspect that this was racially motivated, possibly through the experiment. And the issue of me being a girly girl, which kind of encompasses the hair, the clothes, the makeup, and stuff like that, is because maybe it was your little belief system within your family unit that because I was a man in my past life, and then I'm coming back this life enjoying who I am as a woman. I fucking love being a woman. I wouldn't want to be anything else but a woman, but I have no control over that. I personally, when I think about being reincarnated, I don't really like the way Earth operates. I fucking hate it. I think, you know, the workplace is horrible. No offense or anything, but the leaders can be pathological. So I really think that Earth is crap. Okay? So, but we do. I mean, we come back in male and we come back in female. We bounce back and forth for whatever reason, okay? It is what it is. But I do get this feeling that, you know, this may have played a role into why you would have an issue with how I look. Okay, I also get the feeling that some people, a lot of white people, white racist people, such as Libra 14, and possibly even yourself, because I do believe that you were trying to put restrictions on me, and I do take offense to it. Okay, and that's like people, you don't cross that line with me. I take offense to it because perhaps maybe you're thinking that because I'm a person of color, I have no right to think of myself and have any self-respect. I take offense to that. And I'm always going to take offense to that. And this is where it goes to, like, you know, it's like crossing that line type of thing. It's like the whole thing about the Jim Crow, where like black people could drink Pepsi and white people can have Coke. Okay, it's offensive to me. Okay, and like I said, because I hate the system. What I mean by system, I'm referring to the fact that people only have their fucking jobs to live for, and that's shit. They don't have any, they built their entire life on something that is just based on illusion. There is nothing that this fucking planet or that Earth provides to us other than the natural resources to live on. And then you're going to sit here and try to strip away the only thing that I do enjoy, trying to force me into suicide, which is something that your family was successful doing in my past life. Okay? And so obviously, like I said before in my videos, after dealing with multiple years of your abuse, just counting the farmer's place, okay, and by me reading things about your behavior and your belief system and how you've treated other people, whether it's true or not, okay, if this is your first impression, I'm going to tell you it's not a good impression. You know what I mean? Not comfortable with that. But, yeah, I'm a woman in this life. I'm very proud to be a woman. I love being a woman. And, to me, my past life is my past life. And I look forward is who I am now in this vessel. This is my vessel. You know what I mean? And maybe I have my certain personalities and certain likes, certain dislikes, certain quirky things that I've carried over until this life. But my vessel is a woman. I think like a woman. I am a woman. Okay, whether you acknowledge it or not. I gave birth. Why? How could I give birth? Because I'm a woman. I didn't go to any great lengths to go through any sort of like surgery so I could actually have a child. I had a biological child. Well, how could I do that? Because I'm a woman. Okay, so I think, obviously this was a racially motivated attack on a person. So by focusing on my gender, what I was in the past life, was somehow trying to minimize, perhaps maybe, okay, the fact. Because a lot of people, they don't want to admit that they're racist. They want to find some other fucking reason or something else to focus on. So they don't have to believe that they would be so low to mistreat somebody just because of the color of their skin. I don't know what the problem is, but you're not going to make me, or anyone's going to make me ashamed of who I am. Okay? Yes, I am a woman. Okay? And whether I was a woman or not, I have the right to do what I want. And the very fact that you would want to squash that out of me, this is a problem that I have. This is sort of the abuse, and it's pathological, and I'm not comfortable with it. Probably the originator had something to do with Libra 14. Libra 14 disgusts me on so many levels, okay? Does he not understand that I would never like somebody who would treat me that way? If he ended up, like I said, if we ended up getting married, I would have killed his ass. I would have killed his ass probably days after we got married, if not on our honeymoon night. Because the minute I came to the realization that he was going to start playing his dictatorship, he'd have been gone. Also, the message I get from you is that you do agree with what I'm saying about the American dream being bullshit. At least what I'm saying is I personally think that people should have to structure their life. No one's life on this earth is going to be perfect, okay? But do I personally think, when I look at how things are right now, how, take this, I talked about the school system, I've talked about people not really being educated. I talked about people joining churches, religious groups, not fully understanding anything about religion or even having a sense of spirituality. I've talked about people who claim to have dream jobs and they don't see their family. And that's the reason why they got their fucking dream job anyway. And they end up hating it, being enslaved to it. Everything, basically, that we're encouraged to go for in this system ends up enslaving us and being the biggest thing that we fucking regret. It's not that it just seems that way. It just is that way. Okay? So, spirituality involves many things, not just our connection to God, but it's the things that we look at, the little things that we appreciate that make us remember that we weren't necessarily forgotten. Like, I think that there's great power in plants and trees and food and all those things, and I think that those are given to us by the gods, and I appreciate that because it doesn't make me feel like we were just abandoned. We have things here to help us, you know. So anyway, and those are the things I care about. I don't care about, I've long forgotten and stepped away from that bullshit. Okay, I've always looked at a job as a means to an end, but I do believe that you should enjoy your job and you should go into your job with some level of enthusiasm. I don't believe that my identity should be wrapped up with my job. And I know a lot of people do, because like you'll meet somebody, the first thing they ask, what do you do for a living? And so what they're really saying is, what do you do for a living so I can decide if I can respect you or not? That's bullshit. Now, you can do that if you want to, but that's not how I live my life. You know what I mean? Because I understand in my life, and I've obviously experienced a lot of people that I've known that were lawyers that were nothing but pieces of shit. But like I've used this example before, nobody seems to respect the garbage man. Now, if the garbage man decided, hey, you know, I'm not going to fucking pick up any trash for like 3 weeks, you know what, we'd start appreciating the garbage man a little bit more. Now, maybe he lives on a very small income, doesn't have much money, but his resources to me is more valuable than a lot of these people, lawyers, who especially don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. So anyway, yeah, the American dream is bullshit, okay? But that doesn't mean that I don't love my country, okay? I love this country at this point because I'm on it. My feet are on it, okay? Do I agree with everything that went on in this country? No. Do I think that laws and stuff like that were written well? Yes, I do. Unfortunately, they don't get implemented, and a lot of people are unaware of them. And then, of course, there's corruption. Anyway, so that's the only message I really have for you, but, you know, it is what it is. The last message I got is for Gemini 8, and I've read for you before, but apparently everybody wants to come to my hypothetical party. Actually, you know, I think that's a good that's a good title, my hypothetical party, and celebrity messages. Okay, that way, you know, people know that I'm actually doing messages in this video, and I've been doing them for actually quite a while because, you know, I'm trying to find other things to focus on that aren't related to the gang stalking, Prince LMA. But see, the thing is, I understand how I'm addressing these celebrities. I'm addressing it based on my experience. And it seems like the only thing I've experienced in the last few years, Mr. Gemini 8, is their fucking abuse. Okay? So it's unfortunately, I tend to be a parrot. Like, talk about the same thing over and over again. But hopefully I will be able to have a party, and it won't be just a hypothetical party. I would love to have, like, a party. And of course you would be there. Hopefully. If you can make it, you know what I mean. You can fit me in on your schedule. Anyway, the food magic thing. People, you get the feeling that, or you at least understand that there's people who want to get their recipes dissected on my show. And I've done this a few times. Now, I think this last video that I made, I think it's my either third or fourth food magic video. And like I said, I want to do more because I'd like to be in front of the camera. Not just in front of the camera when it comes to doing the cooking, but also like some of the spell work that I show on the altar. The last few videos, what I did was I made like a little diagram and stuff. But there's like certain videos I want to show, like when it comes to like incense, how to make your own wand and stuff like that. Instructional videos that I would think it would be better for me to do them in front of the camera. When it comes to food magic, yeah, I definitely want to cook. I love to bring people on into the show and cook with them and do the filming and make recipes and stuff like that. There's so much things I want to do, but I do feel very stagnant right now. But anyway, I'm glad that you must watch it and that you do like it. Here comes that message again about me not wanting to interact with people. It's not that I don't want to interact with people. I'm dealing with a lot right now. Like, some people don't understand how deep this issue is, but to me, I think it rings through. I pick everything apart, okay? what this means, what their motive could have meant, what I mean, could have meant at the time, you know, who was involved, and I mean, the only thing I see in this issue, Gemini 8, is something so ugly and so hideous. And I'm not talking about like something ugly like a monster hideous. I'm talking about ugly in behavior, ugly in the reality of what happened. You know what I mean? Just the Nazi. All I have to say is Nazi. Now I understand. You know, people are what they are. Okay, but it's just unfortunate that I had to deal with this, and I feel like I can't trust everybody. And so when I'm around people, I feel like I have to kind of keep my guard up. I don't ever recall having any interactions with you. Perhaps in the future, I'm hoping that we will. Okay, because you know you would be on my invite list. Okay, to my hypothetical party. But it is weird for me to deal with people, and I'm always I don't like the feeling that I have of like always wondering, is this person a perp, are they going to do this, and da, 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 da. I mean, you know what, the people who got behind this caused me a lot of mental disturbance. It's, to me, it's just very twisted off, and I'm not comfortable with it. But no, it's not that. I do get frustrated though, because you know, I understand laws and the cause of and effect of certain things that happen. And when people do stuff like this, because I understand, you know, this could be very life threatening. Okay, especially when you're dealing with blacklisting and playing games like this on social media. I'm not referring to you, Gemini 8, but I'm talking about some of the people who are involved in this group. Um, I can't tolerate that. I can't. I have zero patience for that. You know, and I do believe that I know how to treat people. I think that as a friend, I'm a very sincere person. You know what I mean? And I think I might be. This is why this group, some of these people in this group, Gemini 8, I am a little uncomfortable with, because these people like to bully and they like to abuse. You know what I mean? And I'm not like that. I've always kept away from people that were very abusive, and I know how to be a good friend, and I understand my worth and my value as a person. I don't want to waste my time on people who abuse me. So yeah, I guess I don't like people. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, Gemini 8, I don't like people. Meaning, I feel compassion for people, but I don't like people when they dump on me, when they try to force things on me, when they try to make me responsible for their misery, or when they just think it's okay to toy with me, or they feel like they want to compete against me. I can't stand that. I can't. You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, it's an offense that at this point in my life, I don't feel like I want to forgive it. I want to make myself very clear. And when people make the mistake of crossing that line, then that's a determining factor, so where I can either accept them or continue my life journey. Okay, at 53 years old, I would say that I do have, I have no choice. I have to keep trucking. Okay, and I'm certainly not going to allow myself to settle for one of these ass clowns that they sat there and tried to hook me up with. I'm not doing that again. Okay, not that I was a willing participant the last time when Libra 14 was involved in this. Okay, because I was screaming bloody murder when I started getting the feeling that people were trying to manipulate my life in some way. Okay, it was causing me severe pain and severe stress. It was just a nightmare. Okay, so you get the feeling that I will be traveling in an RV. I did mention one time that I wanted to get an RV. I don't know. Okay, I think my family, the home that my parents had or whatever, I think it got sold or something. So I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Patreon. If I can get an RV, that would be great. But like I said, I don't know if I'm going in an RV. Am I going to live in Lancaster? If I did get an RV, okay, let's say I got an RV. Okay, I got an RV. Something in me is like, well, if I park somewhere and I feel like it's nice enough, I would just live there. I mean, I don't have any roots. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't have fucking family. I literally can go anywhere I fucking want. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to figure things out right now. And because of people, this is what I'm telling you, Gemini 8, people get in your shit and then they just like completely throw you off course. And you're like, I don't know my next step. I don't know what my next step is. And it's interesting that there's some sort of talk about me being an RV. I did mention this before that it would be nice to do. I would love to have an RV. Okay, whether I would live in it permanently, I don't know. I would prefer like to be stationary in one spot, but I do also know that there's places that I'd like to travel and see, and I'd like to travel and go to like some of these creepy places that are here in the United States, and it would be nice to have like an RV. I don't know what's going to happen with all that. Who knows? But anyway, I think that's the end of my readings for the evening. And I'm doing an 8. I really do like you a lot as a person. Um, I hope that I didn't scare you off too much when I was complaining about certain people in the group that I was dealing with abuse or whatever, because it's a very touchy subject with me. It does affect my sleep. It affects just about everything it has caused me entirely too much pain. Entirely. As a matter of fact, everything that I do at this point is some sort of result of what these people have caused. Okay, so yeah, it's quite an issue. Anyway, I'm gonna wish you all good night, and I will be back with another video sometime later. Take care. Bye bye.